guys and ghouls, today I have another Halloween haul. So by the time I had uploaded my 3 HomeSense hauls, I had already been back to HomeSense and I'd already made 4 online orders off of the TKMAXX website. Since I ordered all these things separately and also I've been into store, etc., kind of all in little piles in the other room, some of them are still on their way, so I figured today I would show you 2 things which I ordered online off TKMAXX because I feel it is very important that I talk about ordering online from TKMAXX. So in my last video I showed you a mug which I got from HomeSense, and as predicted I have since now put that mug in the corner of my room. So I did mention when buying that mug not to buy offline because the shipping for TKMAXX is so bad. Like last year, so many things, I'd say 80% of the things that were sent from TKMAXX, and this is a very roundabout number, this is just going by what I experienced, but 80% of the posts I saw about TKMAXX online showed that things got broken in the post. So I only ordered one thing off of TKMAXX last year, it got broken in the post, and I vowed never to do it again. However, they seem to be uploading loads of their Halloween stuff online recently, so I have been making some online orders. Now I ordered one thing, it cost me £10, and when it came it was all packaged really nicely. There was loads of polystyrene, it came perfectly. It literally came in like the manufacturing packaging, so I was really happy, and since then I have been ordering. However, as a disclaimer, I'm not going to say that it is absolutely foolproof because 1 out of the 4 orders I got had a little chip because it was packaged upside down, and there is a slight imperfection. So I am in the process of emailing TKMAXX to see what they're going to do about it, whether or not they're going to send me another one, whether or not they offer a refund, whether or not they just tell me to go along my merry way and just suck it up. So today I'm going to show you one thing which I picked up with click and collect and one thing that I got through the post. The thing I got through the post I haven't actually opened yet. It's been sat in my room and I've been really good, and I've been waiting to open it on camera because I wanted to show you the whole like what it came like kind of a thing, and who knows, it may be broken. This could be like a shock broken reveal video, who knows. But basically I wanted to make this video just because I'm slightly going back on what I said. TKMAXX isn't as bad as it was last year, but I was talking to one of my friends, Will, recently. He ordered 2 things. He ordered 2 of the exact same thing, for that matter. One thing came in a box full of polystyrene and one thing came in a bag and it was all broken. So it is still hit and miss, but it seems like it's now 80% good and 20% bad. So I think I'm going to start with the item I have opened first, which is arguably one of my favourite items that I've got so far this year. I did get another item through the post this morning and it probably is my favourite. Too many spooky things. Now you guys really aren't going to believe me when I say this is the biggest box I've ever seen in my life. It is absolutely massive. It's like taller than I am. I got this through click and collect. If I had got this sent through the post, it would have been £3 I think, or maybe £3.99 for it to be sent through the post, but I was £2 short. Hard times. So I got it click and collect. So this is how it arrived. I assume it probably would have arrived in a very similar way if it was sent through the post. On the top it just has all of my information. On the top it does have a sticker for the store manager saying that this is a singular customer's order, so I assume again this is coming from one big manufacturing warehouse. So this is how it looks inside. I'm just gonna show you like here and then I will come back on screen. So this is what it looks like inside. As you can see, it's all nice and polystyrene. Now I have opened this and there was a bit of polystyrene just resting on the top here, but this hole was here when I got it, and I'm gonna give you 1 second to guess what this is from the hole. What can you see? Something black, something pointy. 2 things pointy and black. I wonder what on earth could it be that's black? I can reveal that it is a cat. So basically, as you saw, there was a layer of polystyrene. This polystyrene goes everywhere, so I would recommend opening this outside. We then have the main old cat in here, and right at the very bottom there is another layer of polystyrene, and I found the random bit which was placed on the very top above the cat's ears. So I'm going to take this out and then I will be right back. So I've got my new baby here. He's a very heavy boy. And as you can see, he is wrapped in this kind of weird like plastic bag that does absolutely nothing. There is no protection really. I guess the only thing it may stop is it from like rubbing up against the polystyrene, but basically it's in this bag. So some of you may have seen my dramatic reveal on Instagram where I went, woo! And here is the cat. This guy I bought off of TKMAXX online. I believe he is still in stock. When I saw him, I panic bought him. I think he cost 20, it tells me on the bottom actually. He cost me £26. Something moving around in him. Hopefully his eyes are okay because I haven't tested them yet. But he cost me £25, which I thought was pretty good because he's not just a cat, as you can see. He's also a stack of pumpkins. So he is pretty massive. I did see him in some photos on Facebook. I really liked him. I thought I don't have any space for him. And so I vowed to myself I would only buy him if I saw him in store so I could assess his size. But then he came online and I panic bought him because he is so cute. And because he's a black cat with green eyes, which you guys know is my favorite thing. So this is how he looks generally. He's a very kind of floofy cat. He's a pretty classic cat. Like I would say if he was just on his own, if he wasn't on pumpkins, I would have bought him as well. He's super floofy. He does have a few bits of like packing stuff on him, so I apologize for that. And then as I said, this is so heavy, so I apologize, I'm not going to be able to hold it up the whole time. But he is sat on 2 pumpkins. There is a big one on the bottom, a medium one, and it says happy haunting. So I do think this is potentially meant to be an outside piece. It is quite big. It is made out of a hollow resin, so he probably wouldn't survive if you were to drop him, but he is relatively hardy just for sitting around. But yeah, I think maybe he would survive outside. He does have a battery section, so maybe I would take the batteries out if he was to be sitting outside, but he is a very big boy, so I think he may have to sit on the floor. In the corner of my room, I don't know how many of you are that clued up on my room, but straight up in front of me I have my dragon's vivarium, which is massive, and then to the side of it I have this awkward little space between the vivarium, my chest of drawers and my door. And at the moment I have a little toadstool which I painted when I was like 16. I did actually make a video somewhere on my channel of me painting it, but I do really like it, but I feel like there is a lot of space there being wasted by this toadstool. So I think unfortunately I'm going to have to wrap it up and put it in the roof and replace it with this fluffy boy. So I'm going to take you in a little bit closer and then I'm going to go off and find some batteries and put some batteries in him and just see what his eyes look like. Fingers crossed they work, otherwise I'm going to be having to send another salty email to TKMAXX. So this is what his face looks like. He is just a very black cat. He doesn't have any kind of like coloured nose or mouth or anything. He is just fully black, and he has been made really nicely to make it look like he is a slightly fluffy black cat, which of course is my favourite type of black cat since my kitten is a long-haired black cat. So as you can see, he's got lots of fluff. He's in a very kind of classic sitting cat position. I do love a good sitting cat when it comes to ornaments. So he's got his nice like curve here. I think he's a rather handsome boy as well. He doesn't have any weird wacky features, which I do love a good like classic kind of vintage Halloween cat. I do like an over spookified Halloween cat, but I do also like this more kind of realistic version. He looks like a wise old boy, and he is sat on this pumpkin. So as you can see, his tail does kind of wrap around the front, and he's got his 2 little paws on the side. So this is the side of the ornament, so you probably wouldn't see this, but they have also put all the details around the back as well. And I love this bit at the back where his like neck meets his body, because they've like super fluffed it out, and that is like very realistic for what my cat looks like. He is just like super fluffy and it gets all like crazy around his neck. But yeah, that is the cat. His eyes are just solid green. Now I could paint some little black like slits in there like I did with my sleeping cat, but I don't know if I'm going to, because I think that green is a really nice shade, and I'm hoping once I put, what's going on outside, there seems to be a massive queue up my road, but he seems to look quite good with that shade of green, and hopefully once I put the batteries in fingers crossed the lights work and he'll like shine bright, but either way I think his green eyes are very dazzling. So I'm now going to attempt to show you the pumpkins on the bottom. So this is what the first one looks like and this is what the second one looks like. The writing itself is like engraved into the design and painted black. I love all the different colours within this. I think it's so gorgeous. If you see any white bits, that is just the polystyrene, but this is quite a heavy piece. It's not so heavy that I couldn't like carry it to my car, like it's not that heavy, and I'm sure if you were slightly more toned in the arm compartment you probably would be able to carry this, but for me it's a little bit of a when I pick him up. I think as well it's just like due to his size. He is sat on my lap right now and he's coming to this height. He is the biggest piece which I think I've bought this year so far. If I put him on my shoulder you'll be able to see what the bottom looks like. On the bottom we have the sticker. I think this says made in China. Let me check. Yep, made in China. And then under here we have a on and off switch and then this little compartment for putting batteries in. So I'm going to take this off now. Ugh. It takes 3 AA batteries, so I'm going to go have a look for 3 AA batteries. Now the reason I'm worried that this may not work is there is definitely something rolling around in here. I'm not sure if it's a little bit of the material that's kind of come loose, but I'm really hoping it's not a smashed bulb, so we will see. So with me while I go and find this little guy. 3 AA batteries. I'll just leave him here to guard my plushies while I'm gone. Batteries acquired. So let's see if I'll be crying with happiness or with sadness when we put these into my cat. It is slightly odd because some of the items which I've got this year have come with like pre-inserted batteries. So I guess some of them need more batteries than others and I guess it's quite a big piece, so maybe that's their excuse for skimping out on the batteries. So the batteries went in all very nicely. Here they are. So, big reveal. Let me find, whoa, it's already on. Look at those. Okay, it's not showing up great on camera, but these are bright green. So much for my big reveal. So this is how he looks normally, and then big reveal. Ta-da! These are his lit up eyes, so I'm very happy that they work. He would look so awesome if you had him like outside your house and it's getting dark and you turn on these bright lights and he's looking at all of you. But I think they're really cute. They are very, very bright. If anything, it's harder to see the green of his eyes. I mean, they do shine green, but if anything, it's slightly harder to see the green, if that makes sense. But I think it really adds like a nice other element to it. I have to say I have so many pieces which are light up like this. I'm pretty sure actually most of like my larger Halloween decorations have like some form of like a lighting up element, whether it be in the eyes of something or in like the pumpkins or something like that. I don't tend to leave the batteries in all year round just because I very rarely light them up. Usually just when I'm doing a Halloween party I'll dot them around and light them up then. But it's a really nice little added feature and I'm very pleased that he does light up because I was slightly worried for a second. So here is my first item I got. I'm very pleased with him. He is very spooky, he is very big, he is very heavy, and he does feature a black cat with green eyes, which you guys know is my favourite. All it needs now is a ghost. So, you ask me, what could be in the next box? I tell you, hashtag year of the ghost, I got you a ghost. Okay, so as background information, the next thing I'm going to show you is something which I received through the post. And this is the item which I have been really good and I haven't opened. So I just wanted to show you the similarities and differences between ordering online and click and collect and ordering online and like home delivery. But as I said, so far everything's been wrapped relatively okay, but that does not mean that if you do order this cat it will come wrapped in such a box, because I would not put it past TKMAXX to throw it in one of these bags and just send it as is. But anyway, enough of that. Let's get our ghost on. So as you can see, I have another big box waiting for you. On the top there is a fragile sticker right here, and then there is my address here. So it's come in this relatively large box. I say relatively, I'd say it's a large box. It is slightly, ever so slightly smaller than the one the cat came in, but I don't think that this item is that big. I think it's a big item, but it's definitely not as big as the cat. So as you can see, it's come nicely taped up. So okay, that cut into the box rather than the tape. Fantastic, absolutely love that. And I think they've designed it so I should be able to cut the tape that's on each side and then lift this lid up. She says, according to my theories, this should just lift off. Ta-da! So straight up, when assessing this, I can see they've just used a regular cover box and they've just added that bit to the top, so hopefully it'll still be okay. Inside we have my little order piece of paper that just tells me that I've spent all my money on a ghost. And then we've got lots of this bubble wrap. Now, from what I've experienced, this bubble wrap has been the only time where I've received something where it's been broken. So hopefully it actually did its job this time. There's quite a lot of it in there. Okay, so from first glance it looks like it may be okay, but hopefully, ooh, you can see there is a witch's hat. So again, they've put one of these handy dandy bags on there that does absolutely nothing, and I think this little ghosty, oh, is fully intact. Okay, so this is the ghosty from First Impressions. He seems to be all in working order, so I'm very pleased with that. Again, he's very big. I'm not too sure where I'm going to put him, but in my window, which is just there, I've got quite a few cactuses, which I thought maybe I could pot them into something else. So maybe I can put them into here. But basically, oh, this is a ghosty holding a hollow pumpkin, so you can pot something in there like a flower. I think it is actually meant for sweets, so you're meant to put the sweets in the pumpkin, but no, I'm gonna put a flower in it, I think. So on the bottom we have our regular old stickers. This cost me $14.99, which I definitely think for the sheer size of this ghosty is relatively good. He was quite an impulse buy, I have to say. Again, I saw him online and I was like, buy. He was the second thing which I bought this year, which was Halloween themed. I saw him online before I even went to HomeSense the first time, so it has taken him a little while to get here, but totally worth it. I'm really pleased that he's come in full working order. But this is how he looks. Again, he's quite heavy. He is made out of like a somewhat hollow resin, but he's still quite a heavy little boy. This Halloween season I think is definitely going to help me build my arm muscles, especially when I'm trying to hold all these things up for you guys to see. So let's look at his details. So he has a witch's hat on. It's nice kind of cat with some character. I do like it when they have a few little bumps and things in them, just so they're not straight up, straight down. I like it to have a little bit of realism to it. It has this black and orange stripy band with a silver buckle. And I'm going to say this right now because I think it may be a reoccurring thing I say, but when I bought this I was fully aware that the paint job wasn't fab. I had seen a few photos of them and it just looks like someone painted it in a rush, which I'm sure they probably did, or a machine painted it. So there are a few things I'd like to touch up. Like, as you can see, it's a little bit bumpy around here. There's like bits of the orange which has gone onto the black. It does need either going around with a Sharpie if you're not someone who does have paints, or you know, do it with a paintbrush. Oh my goodness, I just noticed it is a tiny bit broken. It's fine, I can fix it. So as you can see, there is this tiny little crack on the front of its hat. It doesn't seem to be a crack in the actual cast, which is great, but it does seem like it needs to be just painted over. So as I said, I'm going to need to paint a few bits anyway, so not a big issue for me. Yeah, I think maybe the main tool that will be needed of 2018 is some black acrylic paint and a nice fine paintbrush. So then as we go to the ghosty's face, he's wearing this kind of mask. It's like a masquerade mask. I actually have got a couple of things with this sort of a mask on it. 2 things from this year, and also I'm pretty sure I got something from last year as well. So this is quite a common theme for them to chuck one of these masks on. Now I know that some people are not a fan of glitter because all you need to do is touch it and you're covered in glitter. But I'm already covered in glitter, so I don't mind too much. So there is this mask. If you are really not a fan of glitter, you could paint over this. The eyes themselves are hollowed in, like they're quite deep, so you could very easily paint over it and you wouldn't lose the kind of eyes. I would maybe paint it like a orange colour or a red or something. So again, he's got a nice hollowed out mouth. I'm really pleased that they've gone into the detail of actually hollowing out his features rather than just painting a circle. And he is super detailed, like his cast is very detailed. There's lots of like little bumps actually in the cast to make it look like a sheet. I do love a good sheet ghost. On the side of him, he does have a random little orange patch with a few black stitches. I may go in and add a couple more stitches just to make it look a little bit more realistic. And then he is holding this pumpkin. So as for the pumpkin, he does need a little bit of touching up on his mouth, but other than that, he seems to be a pretty sound guy. And as you can see, his hands are kind of going around to hold this pumpkin. Again, if you wanted to, you could go around with some white paint just to tidy this up. I definitely feel like this is going to be a bit of a working project. And then this is what it looks like inside the pumpkin. It's relatively messy. There's like it's quite rough in there, but I think it is pretty much just for putting loads of candy in, loads of sweeties. And then at the bottom you can see his little sheet is waving in the wind. He's got another little patch on the side, and then he's got tiny little black and white Converse, which I think is super cute, and he stood on like this plinth of grass. That was heavy. Okay, so I am really pleased with this guy. As I said, he does need a little bit of work, but for me that's not really a big issue, just because I have all of the arts and crafts supplies that I will need to fix him up. But he would be fine, as you can see from a distance, if you just bought him and had him as he is. I imagine you're meant to kind of put him outside your front door, put the sweets in his little bowl, and then the kids can come up when they're trick-or-treating and just take one out rather than having to knock on the door. But I've seen people use these for like putting their keys in. I think probably that would be maybe what I'd use when I move out. I'd have him by my door for like a key bowl. He could be a fruit bowl. There's endless opportunities for a bowl. You could eat your cereal out of him if you were really that desperate. But yeah, I think he is really cute. I love the kind of design. I think it's really nice that they've given him some little Converse. Maybe I would have liked it if it had just gone like sheet down to the grass, but I can really appreciate the extra time and detail that there is by adding these Converse in. I think in the description on TKMAXX it explained him as like a trick-or-treater who was dressing up as a ghost, but also a witch, but also a masquerade party, something like that. So I think it is meant to be like a little boy or a little girl in Converse dressed up as a ghost, but as I said, Year of the Ghost, I could not turn him down, and he is quite a big piece. I mean, the cat came up to here, so as you can see, he's still quite a large piece. But yeah, I think for the 20 quid I paid, he was definitely, was it 20 quid I paid? No, 15. For the £15 I paid, definitely worth it for £15. Definitely I think he looks a lot nicer than he did in the photos, which is always a plus. So those were the two things which I got from TKMAXX online. As I said, this one I click and collected, this one I got through the post. Kitten came with no damages at all. He was in polystyrene, but this one, which was wrapped in bubble wrap, has got a tiny little crack on the front. It's not awful. I'm not probably going to write an email or anything because it's something I can fix super easily. If the top of the hat had fallen off, for example, then I would be writing them an email. So let me know, have you ordered anything off of TKMAXX's website? How did it come? Did it come packaged well, or did it come broken? Are you planning to buy anything off of TKMAXX's website? There are lots of things going on there daily, so definitely keep checking back if you are planning to buy some spooky goodies. Thank you very much for watching. If you do have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. If it's anywhere you are, I hope you're enjoying the shade, and I'll see you next time.